Go ahead and replace the cap to your main reservoir. Then go ahead and mount your bike and turn it over. It might give you a low oil sign, but that's because you've just literally drained all the fluids from your bike, and it's going to take about a minute or two for all those fluids to get back and cycle through the whole engine block. So go ahead and turn it over. Sit in the bike for a couple of minutes. Let the fluids get up and get through through the whole vehicle, and then just let it run for a minute. And turn it off.
Now after that, the last thing you'd say is that you want to check on the oil plug. There's 2 lines, and just make sure your oil is in between those 2 lines, preferably higher up.
Say it one more time.
After you've turned off your bike, you want to take out your oil plug, clean it off, check your dipstick, and make sure that your oil level is in between the 2 lines on the dipstick, preferably higher up, but not over.
Okay. After you've already turned your bike over, you're going to want to check the oil level for your vehicle. So go ahead and remove the reservoir cap, which is going to have a dipstick in it. And it's going to have 2 lines on it. You got to make sure that the oil is between these 2 lines to ensure that you have a proper amount of fluid inside your vehicle.
What precautions should you take when changing your oil?
One of the some precautions that you should take when you're changing the oil for your ride. The main one is to ensure that you don't make a big mess with your oil. Oil is very, very toxic to the environment, to you, and to the animals. So you got to make sure that you minimize spills as much as possible, as well as the proper disposal of the oil, as well as the proper disposal of the oil itself.
Also mention when you're changing the oil, be careful, because if you let your bike warm up too much, the oil can be very, very hot.
One of the things to consider when you're changing the oil for your vehicle is that one of the things that you should consider when changing oil for your vehicle is to ensure that you don't let the vehicle warm up too much, or the oil could be very, very hot. That's fucking awful. One of the things that you should consider when you're changing the oil for your vehicle is to be careful when you're warming your vehicle up, and to make sure that you don't allow your vehicle to get too hot, or the oil can be extremely hot and you may end up burning yourself.
So we talked about safety precautions and precautions when you're prepared for riding. What kind of safety precautions should you maintain, and things you should do while you're riding? Don't forget to mention that nice little encounter we had.
Things you should consider when you're riding is you got to be aware that not everybody's looking for you. You're just a small speck compared out there to all the vehicles on the road. It's very easy for people to miss you. It's very easy for people to not see you. So you have to always assume that nobody can see you. One of the things that I always try to do is always make sure that I always position myself in the lane that the driver in front of me can see me and the driver behind me can see me. I always try to stay out of danger zones. A lot of your danger zones could be, in between 2 vehicles, or in between a vehicle and some other obstruction. A vehicle can lay over into you and not even see you. A lot of times people don't use their turn signals, so you got to always be, always looking out for somebody to either turn into your lane or for somebody to freaking brake suddenly without warning.
Of these safety precautions, which one do you think is the most important?
One of the main safety precautions that I find is the most important is your sense of awareness, is your situational awareness. Situational awareness is absolutely paramount to the safety of yourself and those that are riding around you. People aren't always looking for you, so you have to look out for them. Always allow yourself to have an out, no matter where you're riding, no matter what you're doing.
Do you normally do the maintenance on your bike yourself?
I don't normally do the maintenance on my bike myself. I normally take it to a mechanic or some sort of dealership for them to conduct the maintenance on my vehicle. That way I know it's done correctly and I know it's done properly.
So what do you look for in a bike? When you bought your bike, what were some of the things you were looking for when you were buying your bike?
Some of the things that I was looking for when I was purchasing my bike was mainly just, how fun it was going to be when I was going to ride it. I wanted something that was going to be comfortable, that was going to be fun, wasn't too powerful, but wasn't too small either. A lot of people talk and recommend that you should ride, start out with 400 cc's and then work your way up from there. But you'll outgrow a 400 cc bike, like within a couple weeks or so. So I find 750 cc's to be, it's a perfect, right in between. It's not 1,000 cc's. You're not going to roll on that throttle and freaking lift that tire right up. And then again, it's not going to be 400 cc's and you're just, putting behind around everybody else. As you got enough get up and go to do what you want to do, enough get up and go and have fun, but not too much power to hurt yourself with.
Can you tell me about the feeling and what it was like the first time you rode a motorcycle?
First time I rode a motorcycle, it was a little bit scary. It was I always thought it would be like riding a bike. The instincts are there for riding a bike, but it's something completely different. You roll on that throttle a little bit too much and she bucks. You step on that brake a little bit too much and she slings you forward. It's like riding an animal. You have to learn the little nuances of the bike. Every bike's different. Every bike handles differently. Every bike will treat you differently. If you mistreat her, she's going to mistreat you. She'll throw you. But if you learn how to take care of your bike and you learn how your bike's going to ride, you're going to have a great time.
So how important is riding to you?
Riding to me is very important. It allows me, it forces me to be aware of myself driving. When I'm in a car, I kind of get, it's easy to get lost. It's easy, to tune out, listen to music and stuff like that. Just boring, monotonous drive. When you're on a bike, it keeps you aware. Because you have to. It's not just turning a steering wheel and the vehicle goes there. You lean into it. You have more of a connection to you and the road. You lean this way and she goes that way. You lean forward and you roll on that throttle and you can feel her pulling you back and stuff like that. It's you out there. You're more connected with the experience of your trip, with the experience of your drive, and with the experience of your ride.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add, to anybody who might see this video, or any final thoughts about motorcycles and about maintenance and about riding?
Riding a motorcycle allows you to take something that you would possibly take for granted in a car. Even a boring trip, down to the supermarket, can be made it can be made into an experience. You're going to find yourself out in the elements. You're going to find yourself, out there on the road. It's hot, it's cold. You're going to find yourself having more of a connection with, I don't know, if I could just spout and bullshit. No, I don't have anything to add. Mm-hmm.
So what is it you love about riding?
What I love about riding is the experience. I get to experience nature. I get to experience the world around me. Trying to articulate my response. What I love about riding is I get to experience the world around me. I'm not held up in just some box. I'm out there. I'm in the elements. I have the wind in my face. I've
Just relax. You're good. It's all coming out.
I'm trying this next one.
How important is riding to you?
Riding is incredibly important to me. It allows me a lot of freedom. I don't feel trapped in traffic. I feel a lot safer than I would be in a car. Whereas a car, I'm stuck in just one lane in my one little section. But in a motorcycle, where I would find myself in a trapped situation or in a bad situation, I can maneuver. I can place myself in such a manner that allows me to remove myself from that situation. It allows me to have an escape, to have an out.
why did you start riding?
I started riding because, you know, it has an experience to it. You know, it has this aura around it. You know, there's movies about it, there's shows about it. All the badass guys. You know, they all ride motorcycles and stuff like that. You know, my uncle, he rode motorcycles. My father, he rode motorcycles. I came out here to Japan, and I had several friends who rode motorcycles as well too. And I figured, it would be a great way to experience the country, to experience the culture, and just look like a badass while doing it. I don't know. I love riding.
So what is it you love about riding?
What I love about riding is that it allows me to experience nature. It allows me to experience the world around me. I'm not closed in a box. I'm out there. I'm out there. I'm free. I'm riding down these twisting and winding roads and stuff like that. Feeling the turns. Feeling the road underneath the tires and stuff like that. She gives you feedback when you're riding her. It's not like with a car, with a super soft suspension. You don't feel anything. With a motorcycle, you feel it. You feel the road. All the twists, the bends, the rocks, the terrain. Is there sand on the road? Is there dirt on the road? Is there dirt? Are there rocks on the road? You feel all that through a bike. You feel alive, not dead, like you would in a car.
All right. So while riding, for you, what is the most important safety precaution while you're riding?
For me, the most important safety precaution is basically your situational awareness. Your situational awareness mainly being what are the people on the road doing? Are they paying attention? Are they talking on their cell phones? Are they daydreaming? Is she doing her makeup? Just being aware of not just yourself, but what the other drivers are doing. Someone can come over into your lane, just on the drop of a hat, out of nowhere, no turn signal, no nothing. Someone could just suddenly stop in front of you. You have to consider all these things when you're riding.
So, tell me the feelings and the experience of the first time you rode a motorcycle.
The first time I rode a motorcycle was about 2 years ago. It was out here. They were given a class. They had these little Honda 400s. It was just this you'd roll on that throttle, you felt you were just screaming down the road, and you weren't, you really weren't. You went all about maybe 40 miles an hour. But it was just awesome. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. The best thing I've ever done is started riding, and I haven't stopped since.